You're watching Drakewing Gaming. Enjoy the video.
Hey guys and gals, Nary here from Drakewing Gaming. It's something Minotaur to the Gaming Drag. Today I'm coming back at you with a Let's Play episode of Minotaur Hotel. So yeah, let's go ahead and jump right back into it, shall we? Alarm chain, you are up, and let's go! The man takes a notepad from his back pocket. Each page flipped is accompanied by a crisp ruffling of paper. He scans it before going on. Again, sorry to bother, and I know what I'm about to say will sound strange, but would you happen to own or live in a hotel? Excuse me? That's an awfully dumb question, alright. You think I'd be sleeping here if I owned a hotel? Yes, forgive me, I had to make sure. Can't leave any stone unturned. The man gives his notepad another once-over, followed by a sigh as he runs a hand through his hair, slicking it back. When I was passing through the village, I was told you were looking for a job. I happen to need some help, and I can make it worth your while. The Minotaur grinds his teeth while searching for malice in the stranger's voice. Every word dissected, every movement judged. You must have got the wrong guy. The stranger shifts his weight on his legs. Perhaps he frowns, but the Minotaur can't tell for sure. It's like there was a gaping hole where the man's face should be. No, I'm sure you are exactly who I'm looking for. I was told I could find a... There it is. That same thing in all men and women. The Minotaur tightens his fists and lets his head droop a tad lower, pointing his horns toward the man. A what? A kindred spirit. Someone who can appreciate my situation. Birds of a feather flock together and all that. The itch at the back of his spine grows maddening. The man's voice sounds choppy, or perhaps the Minotaur's ears are failing. Let me cut to the chase. It will all make a lot more sense if I just show you. The man takes a booklet from his pocket, opens it, and swipes a finger on a page. The itch at the back of the Minotaur's mind dies down, but in turn his vision starts to feel wrong. He keeps staring at the man's blurred, unreadable features. For a moment they even seem... Ooh, saw that shadow change. There. All better now. The sun disappears behind the horizon, and at last the Minotaur can see the creature's face. His heart skips a beat as he leaps upright. Oh! What the fuck are you? A man. Or so it would seem to most. But in truth, I am like you, just different here and there. People just call me P. So, pleasure to make your acquaintance, Mr. Dream, the Minotaur thinks. This has to be a dream. He draws a breath that sticks in his throat. Bile and fire bubble to the top of his stomach. Well, doesn't matter for now. Now that you can see me for what I am, let me explain my situation. I'm here in the hinterlands to deal with a certain family matter. My grandfather, God rest his soul, spent a good deal of his life chasing after a very special place. He called it the Minotaur's Hotel. It's supposed to be around this area, but I could never find it. And yes, as you can see, I am not really human, am I? Neither was my grandpa, of course. Chances are this hotel I'm looking for is quite peculiar, too. So, I want to prove my dear old man right. And, as luck would have it, I heard a story about a Minotaur of all things here in the valley. That can't be a coincidence, right? So I came here to see with my own eyes, and sure enough, you look like the real thing. And let me tell you, finding you was no easy task. The closer I got to this pond, the less sense the roads made. There's something fishy going on here. Even if you have no information about the Minotaur's Hotel, I still have a job for you. I just cannot believe this is a coincidence. Why, a part of me wants to believe the fates conspired to set this in motion. So, I want to hire you. I believe you might be able to help me find what I'm looking for. Sound good to you? The last lingering remnants of sleep flee the Minotaur's mind. His hooves scrabble on the dry clay, and his teeth grind together as his heart burns. If this ain't a dream, then I must be cursed or going mad, or this is a monster trying to trick me. How do I know this isn't some kind of trick? And you aren't a devil or something? Devil? Now, that's... Have you ever seen one before? He hasn't. Never in all his years has he witnessed anything that, without a shadow of a doubt, broke the veil of mundane life. But he's heard the stories. There's a lot of weird things here, and you never know. I see. Well, I can tell you that I am not a devil, but I won't be able to give you much proof of it. I mean, how can someone prove he isn't a devil? I wouldn't know a test to verify it. That said, seeing as you don't seem convinced, I can sweeten our deal a bit. You saw my trick, right? My very own human disguise, with which no one can see what I really am. It's all thanks to this little booklet here, what we call a charm. It sure is difficult not being human, isn't it? Doubly so when you have a way of blending in. When you have no way of blending in. Judging from what I heard about you in the village, it seems as if you never had one of these. On any other night, saying such things to the Minotaur would spark a fight, especially when spoken in the peacock's tone of blithe condescension. But not here, not now. The Minotaur gazes at the booklet. And despite the haze of his fears, visions overtake him. To become a man, as soon as the words pierce his thoughts, everything comes unlatched. Dreams spring forth. A fountain of possibilities he had sealed in a vase and refused to think about. Before you get any ideas, I'm sorry to say that taking mine won't do any good. For the most part, they only work for the person they were made for. Second, y'all. Water time. Alright, y'all, and we are back. Let me drink some water real quick. Oh my god. Alrighty. That's no issue at all. I can make one for you, right here and now. And with that, the Minotaur realizes just why people sell their souls. You're speaking more and more like a devil, you know that? A stranger comes up, you ain't even human, and now you're talking about this weird stuff. If I ain't dreaming, then you must be a devil, that's clear as day. Not a dream, no sir. And not a devil either, that's far too Christian for my tastes. I'm much more of a, shall we say, old-fashioned kind of guy. Much like you, I imagine. Although, I suppose what I have to say won't do much good for my cause. What do you mean? How to put this? Let me speak frankly. I want something from you, and I'm willing to pay you for your time. That said, the situation you are in, it's wrong. People like us aren't supposed to walk around showing our true selves. That's the law, and we can be punished for it. You're lucky in a way. This place is such a hellhole that gossip about you never traveled too far. Or perhaps it's bad luck, seeing as you'd have gotten help long ago if you lived somewhere decent. I can make a charm for you, right here and now. By the end of this night, you'll have your very own human disguise. All I want is that you consider taking my offer. I'll pay you to help me find this place, the Minotaur Hotel. It shouldn't take long. I'll only be there for 2 weeks at most. And to sweeten it up even further, while we're working together, I'll teach you everything there is to know about, well, not being human. Do we have a deal? Sounds leap from across the pond, grasshoppers and cicadas singing, birds letting out distant cries while returning to their nests. Ripples emerge from the center of the pond itself to dance upon its otherwise placid surface. Concentric waves laze their way to the shore, displacing thin clouds of sediment with their motion. A splashing sound, like a distant sea inside one's own head. The Minotaur draws a breath and hunches over. Hummingbirds peck at the back of his head, raising each fur strand one at a time. It's like a dream of stitched-together visions. Going to the grocery store in the village, where all the products have a thin coating of road dust, where people perk their ears to catch his hoofsteps. The unending humiliation that comes with purchasing something as simple as a candy bar. Gritting his teeth against their stares, ignoring their disgust of him as if he bore some terrible deformity, being ignored in turn, best not to interact with the cursed. There we go. Plug this thing in real quick. There we go. My new beautiful earbuds. Okay. Oh yeah, it's actually time for water. His mind goes back to when he was younger, when he would wear hoodies to cover up his face, panic when his horns got too wide to be hidden away. The hummingbirds dig their beaks into his skin as yet more visions arise. Being out on the streets like any other unassuming passerby, out and about, without hiding away from fear and hatred. Those who once stared at him now unaware of his identity. He can make a new name for himself, born anew. This is his salvation. And this man, he must be a demon. There must be a catch. Then again, he's damned already. If he wasn't fated for hell from the day he was born, then circumstances sure had left him with no other choice. Any price is worth it to be a human, even his soul. You don't have to lie. None of this can be true. If it is, I know you must want something more. I'm still not convinced you ain't a devil, sir, or if there's something else you're after.
But even if you are, and you intend on taking my soul, consider this deal taken. I'll do the job and whatever else you ask of me. Just make me into a human, no matter the cost.
You're funny, kid. Very well, our pact is sealed. Let's not waste any time, huh? Tell me, what's the water like in the pond over there?
Salty and dead. Nothing grows there. You better not drink it.
That won't do, then. We need a proper place to do it. I believe I saw a crossroads on my way here. The charm will be stronger if we craft it there. Let's go, and start collecting dry wood on the way. We'll need to make a bonfire. Before we proceed, I'm afraid I didn't catch your name. As I said, you can call me P.
P? Is that really your name?
My family has some peculiar traditions. My dad, grandpa, all the men share a very complicated name. Everyone I know just calls me P. It's easier.
The Minotaur can't help but feel excitement stampeding in his chest. For a moment, he allows himself to fall into the fantasy of performing a mysterious ritual with this inscrutable man. His chest swells as he recalls the nickname he was proud of, and how powerful he felt when people spoke of it. Then, you can call me Storm. That's what people used to call me.
Storm. Very well. Nice to make your acquaintance. Now, before we start, would you mind telling me a bit about yourself?
The foal stampeding in his chest grows still and hides in the tall grass. His lips are stretched taut. Storm snorts and looks away. P doesn't even raise an eyebrow. He picks the lad apart, clothes, accent, emotions, in search of a salient point he can exploit. Something vulnerable, but not so sore as to elicit a hostile reaction.
You are from around here, right?
A harmless enough question for the moody young man. Better than asking about his clothes. Aye, born and raised here in the hinterlands. P remains quiet. Silence breeds discomfort, which the unwary often feel. The Minotaur's heart must be skipping a beat, or perhaps he feels small and vulnerable against the peacock. He snorts, then speaks. But my ma's family from up north, near the coast.
I see. That's a rough place, isn't it?
No rougher than this hellhole. Good for fishing, though. Damn cold waters, and windy as a tornado. Actually, y'all, I'm gonna go ahead and pause it right there. I'm hot. I'm gonna go get ready for work, y'all. Thank y'all so much for watching. I love you all, and I'll see y'all in the next video. Bye-bye!